Hey y'all, this is Philippe the Learn to Grow guy. Guess what time it is? It is tool time! Get it? Tool time? Tim the Toolman Taylor? Anyway, this is what you call tulle, okay? It is the same material that brides use in making veils for themselves, or whoever the tailor or tailoress is, they'll use this material to actually make veils for brides. Now, this tool that I bought here, it's actually 9 feet wide and it came at 150 feet long, okay? You can buy some shorter ones than that, you can buy smaller quantities than that, but it's just that out here I needed quite a bit of them, okay? Now, here's the thing. I've been using them, I try to use them to keep my fruit safe. Here, let me show you. I've tried using them to keep my fruit safe, and squirrels, if they know that there's fruit on that particular tree like they did with my peach trees, and you can look at a previous video for that, they will come and they will eat the stuff through there. They will make a hole in the bag and get to the fruit. The only thing that I know that this stuff actually keeps away from your fruit is actually bugs at this point, okay? So what I've started doing is that because the Japanese beetles are out here and they are a bug, okay, and as you can see, this is evidence of Japanese beetles on my grape trees. These are grapes that I have, and they've been coming out here doing their mating rituals and feasting, and then they go lay eggs, and then they repeat the whole cycle all over again, okay? So my thing is to actually try to cover these so that I have grapes, okay? Baby grapes, but it looks like something may have been eating off of them and stuff like that, so next year I'm expecting more out of this. Now, here's my plan for this, okay? This area here, what I want to do is I want to actually build a trellis as to where the grapes hang, the clusters of grapes overhang, and so that it's easier for me to come along from the bottom and actually harvest some grapes. So, but I'm never going to get grapes if the Japanese beetles, they keep doing this to my grape plants, and therefore the grapes not being able to thrive and succeed like they need to. So that's where the tool comes in at, okay? Like I said, the tool does not keep squirrels away from your fruit unless you cover the entire tree. But as far as the grape plants, I'm going to work with this one here to show you exactly how I use the tool, okay? All right. Okay, items you will need. You'll need a measuring tape, okay? You're gonna need one of these little fancy butane torches. This one has a 2-flame. It's got a 2-flame unit. I don't know if you can see that or not, but let's see, maybe under here. Yeah, you see that? It's got 2 flames on it. Single flame will do just fine. You'll need a pair of scissors to cut your tool. You'll need a marker to mark things off as you measure your tool out. Now, the other thing you're going to have a need for is you're going to need a couple of pieces of wood. You want stuff with sharp edges, okay, as sharp as possible. You don't want them rounded. You prefer them to be sharp edges. And here's why. Because we're using that torch to fuse the 2 pieces of tool together. You need an edge. Okay, you see how these are? They're very thin, y'all. They're very, very thin. Okay? Let's try this here. Okay. In order to fuse them together, you got to get them together. All right? And what you're going to do is you're going to take that tool and you're going to put them between the 2 pieces of wood here. You're going to lay one down like this here, and you're going to put this on top of it to, to keep the 2 together. Okay, so that you have one solid straight edge where you can actually do what you got to do. Okay, now let me show you what I used to do before. Okay, we're back at this apple tree here. Okay, as you can see here, the red line that you see, I was sewing to make these bags, okay? It took forever, okay? It took forever to make these bags because I would take the time to do the stitching, okay? To try to make sure that I got these bags together. Using the torch method, it is way faster than trying to stitch a bunch of these small bags. That'll take you a whole night. That'll take you a year to get stuff done. And even then, this didn't quite work for the squirrels. But again, if you're gonna use that for, for fruit, to keep bugs away, It's very, how you say, the bags work, but the only thing is I would use the fusing method, which I will demonstrate for you. Now, when you start to use the fusing method, what's going to happen is that you're going to have some residue of the tool build up on your pieces of wood. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to scrape them clean, okay? Actually, another piece of wood will work just fine, okay? And all you got to do is just scrape it on, just scrape it, okay? And that'll get those little pieces off. All right. Actually, if you have a scraper handy, that'll work even better than trying to use a piece of wood to get the stuff off. It's hard. It's a little difficult trying to do this with one hand, but I think you guys got the picture. Okay, I think y'all got the picture with this. Okay, I already did this one. This one's cleaner than it was before, and this one is doing fine too. Okay. All right. Okay. Now here's where the tool comes in at. Okay. Now if you're working with small pieces, 2 small sticks, pieces of wood like this will do. For example, if I'm making the bags, 2 small pieces like this will do perfectly just fine. And I'm saying that because all it would require is for me to put the 2 pieces together. Like for example, one on top of the other. And I just need a little bit of material hanging out. Okay, I don't know if you can see the material or not, but the material is actually there. There are 2 sides, they're right there, and all I would basically have to do is get the torch and take care of that, okay, and fuse it, okay? I'll demonstrate that to you in a second. Stand by. I'm going to take you back over there to show you what you need the other tools for, like this here. If, for example, the marker will come in handy if I'm how you say, if I have a long piece I'm going to do, a very long piece, say 8, 9, 10 feet. This bed here is not this. I'm sorry. The back of the truck here is not exactly 8, 9 feet long, so therefore I'm not able to do that. I need to, as I measure out my tool, I need a marker so I can mark off where I'm at so I can continue with my measurements. All right. Now the scissors, like I said before, scissors is used for the cutting of the tool. Okay. All right. And of course, this is used for measuring. Now, pertaining to plants like this here, what I've got here, like with this grape plant here that I'm going to be taking care of, what you want to do is you want to measure everything out, okay? For example, with this here, I'm starting with this T-post here, and I'm going to bring this stuff out to roughly about here. And why? Because that branch back there can lean towards the rest of the plant, and so therefore I'm looking at roughly, oops, come on, roughly 5, I'd even go as far as 6 feet with it, okay? That way it has some room for growing, all right? Okay, now as far as the height is concerned, since down here, I've got these little small branches, they're less than 1 foot, I'm gonna just trim these off, all right? Let's see, this one here, I'll probably trim this off. Yeah, I'll probably trim this one off too. Okay, I'll trim that branch off, and this is the only one I'm going to leave there. Okay, now again, like I said before, the goal is to actually get this thing to grow up onto the trellis overhead, and so I'm able to harvest grapes from above. All right, so we know that this is about going to be 6 feet wide, and then I want to take a look at the depth. Okay, see how much depth you're working with. Okay, you want to take that out to one side. This branch, I'm going to be bringing that into under the net. So this one needs to be about 2 feet wide and roughly, what is that, 6 feet long, right? And as far as the height is concerned, well, let's see. Give me a second. Oh, that's as far away as that's as far as I can pick that out to. Okay, so I'm going to measure from about here to about up here, just up top here, and that measurement is, let's see what survey has to say. We're looking at about 4 foot. Looking at about 4 foot for that measurement. Okay, so we're looking at a piece that's going to be 4 foot high, 6 feet wide. That's the basic measurements we're looking at for that. We know it's going to be about 2 feet wide. Now the good thing about the tool is that it's actually stretchy. Okay, it's stretchy on one side, but going down one plane but not the other, and so therefore I just have to work with it and figure out which side do I really want to to take care of that with, okay, to make sure that I have the growth area that I need. Okay, all right, so I've shown you about measuring, okay, and you can use the same principle for trees, for short trees, and so you can use your tool and not waste tool, okay. So let me see. So okay, so you know the measurements. You know, I mean, just cutting it is just cutting tool, so it can fuse what you got to fuse, and the torch. Okay, let me show you how to fuse them, and I'm gonna get to work, and I'm gonna be showing you the finished product that I've got. Okay, but here's the principle in fusing using the torch. Okay, as we've talked about before, I've got two. Okay, like I said, it's very thin. Okay, you see how thin this stuff is. It goes along this way here. Okay, I've got both sides together, and what I'm typically going to do is I'm going to apply the torch to it. Okay, here we go. Get the torch going. You see that? It retreats, goes in. I'm not going to take it all the way to the end. Because here I just want to show you how it's done. Okay, now typically once this is done like this, I'll roll the first piece of board, the board that's on top, over this way, and then I'll go ahead and start lifting to get the tool off the piece of wood. Okay. Now, remember what I told you before. Remember what I showed you before in the larger piece here as to how the melted tool will start to build up. That's what you start to have here. Okay, as you see it sticking, that's how the build up starts. Okay. Now let's take a look at see what we've got here. See that? Nice seal. You don't have to go through the problems of trying to get thread or needle or anything to that nature. And this is what I do. I keep two pieces with me at all times. I keep these two smaller pieces because periodically I may have an area where I have a hole, and I'll work with these two to get it together so I can fuse that and seal the holes up. That is provided that the holes are too big. Otherwise, for when I'm trying to do long areas, like for that piece there, which is going to be 6 foot by 5 feet or whatever that was, this is where these come in at. Okay, all right, so I'm going to get this cut out. I'm going to get this measured, cut up, and put together, and I'll show you the finished product as I'm putting it out there on that piece of grape plant right there. Okay, stand by. Okay, the tool bag is done. I'm done with the bag. It's in the back of the truck, and I've done some of the pruning like I said I would. Okay, now the other part that you got to do now is I got to separate it from what I have here, from the line, which includes cutting all the little twisty things that grapes have. Okay, you gotta separate it from this, and you don't have to do stuff like this with trees because trees do not send out these little tendrils or whatever you call them to hold on to anything. And so, but with grapes, you're gonna have to do some of that, okay? Because typically you want the grapes separated from whatever structure you have, and what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to tie the netting to the structure. Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I can demonstrate all that with you guys. Okay, well, for you guys. Okay, so the key thing is you gotta do that separation. Okay, let me finish it up because I'm working with one hand. Okay, so it is done. It's not the ideal way I would have wanted to do it, because that little branch I was taking out from this piece here, it actually, see, it broke off here. That's a branch. I lost that small segment, but that's fine. But my thing is that at least the plant as a whole will be protected from the Japanese beetles, which means that I should have more growth. The plant should be more robust, okay? So that hopefully next year I get more grapes out of it compared to, where are they? Compared to these few grapes that I have here on the plant. So I think this is saving the plant. Down here there is a little entryway but I doubt if a whole lot of Japanese beetles are going to find their way in there to do their mating and to eat up the leaves of this great plant. I don't quite think that's going to happen. The seam, as you can see, the fusing seams, that worked out beautifully. Okay, this is not an opening. Okay, this is not a cut. It's, you know, it's fused. It was done very very well in my opinion. And so as of now, whatever bugs is in here, they're stuck. Now there is a problem with tulle. Okay, tulle is typically made of the plastics, nylon, whatever other ons and stuff like that. And the finest, the best silk, the best tulle you're gonna find is actually made of silk. Now the thing is that you're not going to want to spend a whole lot of money buying silk tulle, because that can be quite expensive. Okay, so that means that this stuff is going to last me for 2 to 3, maybe 4 months, depending on the severity of the sun UV rays out here. But nonetheless, for me, that's enough protection to get me through the Japanese beetle season. So that's all I pretty much have. I think you guys understand how the process is made. You got to measure stuff out. You got to cut your tulle, and you can fuse it. I've demonstrated how to do that already for you. I think you guys got it. Only thing is that with trees, you may want to do something depending on the size of the tree. Okay, let me show you. Okay, for trees of this magnitude, there's not much I can do for it. Okay, this tree is too big. I cannot go around trying to cover everything on here. As you can see, there has been some damage done by those Japanese beetles. But again, like I said, for trees of this magnitude, there's not much I can do for it. Okay, I still have some apples on it. Okay, there's not much I can do for it. This tree, again, is too big. There's not much I can do for this one either. Okay, but for the smaller trees, like those pawpaws here, about the size, trees about the size of these small pawpaw trees, or even a little larger. I still have trees on the other side that I got a cherry tree I gotta try to protect. Okay, small trees like this, yes, I can put the netting over the entire tree. That wouldn't be a problem. But when things get larger and stuff like that, there's not much you can do about it other than put those little baggies around to try to protect your fruit that way. Okay, so in my opinion, this sort of saves you a whole lot more money on buying nets. Yes, you're going to invest a little time. Okay, the only downside is that these nettings do not last as long. But my viewpoint is that I only need it to survive I only need the netting, or even if I had to repeat the netting work, for another year, until I get these Japanese beetles under control out here, as to where they will not reappear and they will not continue to devastate my my fruit trees, my grapes and stuff like that. That's Japanese beetles I've been collecting throughout the day. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope this has been very helpful to you. If you guys have any other methods of protecting your trees, your grapevines, or whatever it is that whatever method it is that you use to keep Japanese beetles off of your crops, be sure to chime in down below. Let us know. Share your knowledge. Don't try to just sit there and hog it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and guys, please do the sharing part. Okay, I'd really like to see things. I'd really like to see some of this information get spread out and to as many people as possible. So please share. All right, y'all take care, and again, leave comments. Talk with you guys later. And remember, it's tool time. Anyway, talk with you.